Okay, welcome to another Sengoku Jidai battle. We're facing off against Ludendorf this time, who's decided to chase me into my refuge and destroy me here as well. He claims that being new to this game, he's not going to do so hot, but we all know that he's a liar when it comes to that kind of thing. Alright, got a body of water here. It's probably going to be... I wish I could mouse over it in the deployment phase, but I can't. So I can only assume it's going to be some kind of an obstacle, but it might not be. We'll want artillery and Tippo Zabara anyway for this kind of situation. And let's bring some firepower and archers. Now, the question is, do I want more shooting power, which would be quite expensive? I'm not sure if these guys are worth the cost. I could even bring this large unit of matchlocks, but I don't know that that's worth the extra 14 points. We'll bring our later Yari Ashigaru and our average quality monks. $20 points is a steal. They can do flank attacks at least. And I'll grab a Yeti Samurai. Alright, 60 points left. Perhaps I should bother getting a unit of cavalry? Or I could get a unit of heavy Yeti Samurai. Decisions. I could even just get more spam, get 2 more units of warriors. I mean, they're not very good, but numbers. It does sound scary to have literally no cavalry. Let's split the difference. Get some subpar cavalry and get some spam. Okay, deployment. Disorders mounted and close order foot. So I'm guessing that includes our medium foot. They count as non-lights because Sengoku doesn't really have many heavy foot. In fact, I think there's only one heavy foot unit in the entire game. So with that in mind, let's get our Honjing set up. The Honjing is your commander-in-chief as a Japanese army, and it's immobile, but it is a large percent of your route percent, which is usually good. It's hard to get at it if you put it somewhere defensible, and it's got elite swordsmen defending it. But if you do take it out, it's a big cost to the army. Okay, so it looks like Ludendorff can more quickly get to line the stream, and the question is, what will he do with that ability? We'll also need to look at what our command groups are, because in Sengoku, at least for Japanese armies, actually, for all armies, come to think of it, the command groups are pre-assigned. So you just have to kind of make do with what you've got. For Chinese and Korean armies, generally you get one command group for all of your infantry and then multiple cavalry commands. For Japanese armies, it's just kind of a mixed bag based on the feudal contingents brought by your various warlord allies. We can deploy concealed and then kind of choose whether to reveal ourselves based on his deployment. Might do something a bit unorthodox and general up on our dragoons. Or, sorry, not dragoons, Teppo Samurai. But you know, basically dragoons. Maybe not. If we're going to have them operating on the margins like that. Well, I suppose we could just dump them in this forest here. Right then. Then a Yari force, basically. I think we can decide what to do with these units based on if Ludendorff weights his flanks. The alternative would be to sort of pile all of our men here or something and try to barrel across, but I think that would be rather difficult. I'm going to think about this though. Yeah, I'm somewhat unsatisfied. I feel like no matter what, I'm going to feel like I did the wrong thing, whether I shift these guys to weight the left to the right or keep them in the center. So we're just not going to move them and go with it. Next turn. Okay. So Ludendorff is also deployed in a pretty straightforward line. Swordsmen and the like to fight in the forest. Good call. Both of his Teppo Zamanai to our right, which is a little unfortunate. I think ultimately this is a bit reactive, and being reactive is generally not a good thing. But I think I want to rush my own Teppo Samurai back to the right flank. And that's a lot of squishy missile troops. So let's get our Yari Samurai and our Ashigaru to work into this open ground here. Yeah. Something like that. When he crosses over, we'll pop out and charge, I think would be the right call. So no need to remain hidden deep in the forest. We're going to rush out when he gets close enough. Next turn. I'm mainly concerned about these Teppo Zamanai shooting us up. Well, they won't get into range quite yet. Good. And you will remain in reserve. Let's see if Ludendorf pushes or if we have a kind of stare down shooting across the river kind of match. Next turn. And let's rush our own samurai into contact here. Who knows what exactly is lurking in there? I guess I could check my old footage and maybe find out, but I am pretty lazy. Always a problem. Not sure if either of us will be able to safely make a crossing, to be honest. This is a bit awkward. But let's see what the shooting here accomplishes. I guess is very little. Next turn. Yeah, this is going to be a tough match to actually conclude, I think. We're both terrified of crossing the river. Well, he should withdraw both of these units shortly. Right. This might be another one of those matches that it's just not possible to conclude. Next turn. Let's see if we can't. I'm tempted. Should I be? Probably not. Am I? Yep. More men over here, I think. Send some Ashigaru over. Average and raw, average and average, but also cavalry. Get ready to shift over as needed. There. Say hello. Bit of a shame to waste a reveal like that, but not a big deal, really. I think I will shift this cavalry unit over. Well, I just wish I knew what was in here. I'd like him to get a little closer. Not like, I don't expect him to get into range of these fours with any numbers really, but just a little closer so we can pop these out and charge. Next turn. Here. Here. Turn around in case we should need to run. I suppose I should be counting points to see if that's everyone, but not going to do that. Get more spearmen over to this wing. And I think I will... Let's accept the challenge. Get them out of there. There we go. So we'll try to engage here. Let him engage here if he wants to. And I think try to avoid contact here. More or less. Next turn. He's going to try to avoid my attack on this flank. While attacking me on my own left. So the question is, what do I do? Do I continue the attack here? Or do I simply turn my troops left and march that way? I think we continue, because at this point you can't simply keep running. You'll have to turn and face me. This could get pretty ugly just popping out like this. I was hoping for a disruption due to a small unit size. We're going to abandon these 3 units to their fate and hope that these move just a little closer. I'm a little concerned about what's in here. Maybe I shouldn't be. 3 melee units. I only have 2 here. I am tempted to push forward and fire. Something's got to be in there, right? We'll wait 1 more turn and then pop everyone out of this forest as well. So he can either turn and fight or keep running. If he keeps running, he can get more volleys off though. So I'm hoping he will turn and fight. Here, we'll inch out. This way we can either discover what's in this forest next turn or fall back into the wood. Next turn. Disruption, which is fine. I guess I'll go for the charge anyway, just because it's a decent chance even though we're disordered. They held firm. Well, pop these spearmen out then. In the meantime, can't quite catch them, although we could catch them with our typical samurai. Is it worth it? I'll think about it while I charge. Very good. Hold firm. Ah. Very good. Nobody's in there. All my fear was for nothing. Alright then. Let's see if they move a little closer and then we'll draw out more fire. I don't really want to move this unit out because it's only 350 men, so it'll suffer in melee against this unit. But we could move here and threaten a charge, and if they move forward in response, then we could come out and fire. This unit's doomed. That's okay. So, what to do with these two? I think face them, and with this unit, I think we will shift left, try to engage here. Do we charge? No, I think we don't. I think we move up, and I don't want to. This unit might disrupt anyway, but this way you could get one close range volley from them, one from them, but it will only be long range from them, so hopefully we don't disrupt. Ludendorf was worried that I could rear charge this unit because he didn't realize his movement would be so slow by the stream, but of course my movement is also slow, so I could not charge. Next turn, let's see how quickly my left wing collapses. It just needs to hold out for a while until the right can come to its rescue. Our archers will suffer. So apparently, or later I should get her there. Looks like our gunners get overwhelmed. A frag, that's good. We might be able to break this unit and force them to flee before this flank attack can come in. Well, first things first. Too bad. Is that worth it? I suspect that it is not worth it. Good. Then fire. They didn't disrupt, but they've been cut up pretty badly, so hopefully if we lose a combat against them, we'll simply fall back. Not close enough because they're in the water. If we move close, we'll get shot. That is a solution. Now we can move forward without getting shot at. Ouch. Lock them in. They might fall back. Oh, that's okay. That decides what we'll do with this unit then. Very good. No undo button, so we'll just have to endure that. They fell back in past cohesion, so we'll just take a little bit more fire, unfortunately. That didn't go quite as smoothly as I would have wanted it to. But I still think it's better to keep this unit under command than to break this later tempo Ashikaru immediately. Okay. Not terrible, but this whole situation is quite awkward. We'll see how it goes. Next turn. Oh, it's too bad they fall back into the wood where they're quite safe from our spears. Good. Pursue? Excellent. Good. That's quite bad. Right, what can we do? No impact capabilities because it's not open terrain. And his muskets are here, unfortunately. We'll need this unit to combat whatever he has in this forest. Fall back. That's very annoying. Very good. Get ready to hit those flanks. General up on the Ashigaru, so that'll leave us at minus 50. Don't like how much my spears are pinned against forests. And I don't really care for this situation, of course. But we could get some good flanks off next turn, so it's not time to give up yet. Next turn. Ouch. did leave this flank open, unfortunately. Ah. Well, he did save his better unit. Now we're down 3%. Well, first things first. Lock them in again and flank the samurai. They held firm, unfortunately. How's this? Even for now. Good. I was hoping to break them without having to push into melee. And I guess that's what we're gonna do. There's potential for him to flank us here. Let's drew a little bit of fire. Ouch. Well, next turn we'll charge them. Fall back. There's a unit somewhere in there, so if we just march here, we'll tank some fire. There we go, that's exactly where they are. Why don't we get in there with the samurai, open up with our matchlock men, pin with the cavalry. Even though it's unfortunate that they're disordered, they'll just fall back from any lost combat. And what to do here? Not really much chance of catching them, unfortunately. Could join the fun there, or we could turn and start pushing that way. Suppose we'll make do with that. Not going well, not going horribly. See what happens. I think here I should have simply broken that unit with the samurai and then moved my tippo. I should go to down and fired. And instead, which way is this unit facing? That way, okay. Instead, we wasted a turn. Next turn. That's a poor showing. We need to break this unit faster. Locked out, although they held firm. Still holding. What a shame. Ooh. Ooh, that's... okay. So, these can threaten the flank of my Sohei unit. Either way, I want a flank attack on that Yeti Samurai, no matter what. Good. And charge. Next up. Oh, distracted by my cat. Now we're gonna get charged. Unless we... there we go. Now he can either charge me and get flanked or stand and get shot, so I suppose it works out. That is not what I meant to do, though. Fragged. Break them, and then hopefully pursue into the archers. Break and disrupt the Tempo Ashigaru, and if we're lucky... yes, we are lucky. Not that this matters, they're both severely disordered, so it doesn't really make a difference, but it prevents them from making trouble. Then we can charge. And in the meantime, over here, we can start encouraging this unit of later Ashigaru to move forward into range of our Teppo. And this disrupted unit can just move further towards the action. Okay, this is developing a little bit better. Yes. Onward. Next turn. Ooh, that's... I might fight off both my units and despite being flanked. That's better though. If we get these monks against these disordered Yeti Samurai, that would be very useful. Okay, they can't quite turn because they're out of command and control. I was hoping that we would lose the combat, hold firm, and fall back. We could have got some volleys in. Oh, perfect. Ludendorf mentioned in the comments that he'll chalk this up as a learning experience, which, like, yeah, fair enough. I've been playing this since 2016, and he just started like 2 weeks ago or something, so that is completely acceptable. These haven't rallied up yet, unfortunately. Here, give them a little whiff of bullets there. And we'll get the flank attack here. They'll hold because our cavalry are disordered and the Teppo Ashigaru have no melee POA, but they should break next turn. I need this superior unit to rally up though to confront these later Ashigaru. Just saying hello. I don't think I'll charge into the forest after them, though. Fragged. Hopefully... Oh, good. I was hoping we wouldn't pursue into the charge path of that cavalry. In which case, this unit will join the fun against the samurai. Very good. That's it. I think we might be able to wrap it next turn, actually. Right, and we're getting a good game. Here we go. What happened? I think sightlines were important to this. I guess Ludendorf will have to let me know, but I don't think he was aware of just how many troops I had hidden in this forest. I think he thought also that I had rather more men here than I did. So he advanced past the stream here, and then when he realized how many men I had, he tried to pull back, but he just didn't have time because of the stream. I did suffer in my advance because of musketry from the forest, but it wasn't quite enough. He also had a fair number of sword-armed Ashigaru units over here, which are good in the forest, but not good once they come out, and they had to come out because of the way things were going. And on this flank, I was able to escape total disaster by disrupting one of his small Sohei units before contact, enabling some of my men to get out of there before they got overrun. So this was an odd battle, pretty dominated by the terrain. The stream isn't enough to disorder warriors or medium foot, but it does disorder cavalry. More importantly, it costs more AP even for foot to cross. So you're really limited offensive options, and Ludendorff is also brand new to Sengoku Jidai. I think he's been playing it for a few weeks, and it does play pretty differently from Field of Glory 2 in some ways. I think Ludendorff is a very careful, which isn't to say defensive, but careful player who plans everything out, and that's how he kicks my ass in Field of Glory. And Sengoku Jidai and Paikensha are a little bit less conducive to that sort of very careful planning. There's a little bit more of like, well, let's see what happens, because you cannot manually resolve melees, and infantry can randomly pursue and cause cohesion drops. And finally, I think a big difference is the presence of guns. Limited ammunition is not a thing, so they can just blast away. And more importantly, they're just deadly. You can afford to ignore an enemy unit of master archers in Field of Glory 2 for a while if it's just one unit shooting at you. And in the meantime, while they shoot, they'll exhaust their ammunition. But you can't ignore matchlock men here, right? One volley, even if they've moved first, can disrupt, and it's very likely if you blunder into their range while they're stationary. So there's a lot less scope for a, say, like carefully managed withdrawal or a slow-moving advance once the enemy gets you in matchlock range. At that point, you have to charge and throw out all your plans, and it gets messy. So I'm sure we'll keep playing more, and I'm sure he'll catch up really quickly. And I'm looking forward to it. Good game to Ludendorff, and till next time.